Welcome one and all, my name is Donato and today's video is about the 1 hour rule. Cue titles. Well, actually there aren't any fancy titles, but anyway, here I am. Yes, a very warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for coming to my channel to watch this latest video, where there seems to be, we live in uncertain times and there's all sorts of advice, suggestions, things being bandied about. So I thought I'd produce this video because some of my friends have been getting some really horrible and hateful comments from people about this 1 hour rule, and I myself have been subjected to this and been called an idiot, where I think it was 4 weeks ago I was out in London and minding my own business and just done some filming, and apparently I endangered people's lives. But before I go into the details of that and the whys and wherefores, because being from a scientific background, engineer, I'll go through the analysis and the whys and wherefores, why these advice and suggestions have come out and why we need to stick to those rules. But I'll just give you a quick background about me, because a lot of you guys who've arrived at this channel may be new. What do I produce? What do I talk about? Yes, my name is Donato and I do a lot of running. And recently, last year, I got selected for the England Marathon Masters team. Yeah! So I guess that qualifies me for a relatively good endurance runner. And but I post about all sorts of things, health, wellness, and generally being active and being good, as we say. So which leads me nicely onto this particular 1 hour rule, because we're now living in a world, all over the world, wherever you are, whatever we're doing, it's uncertain times and there are thousands of people dying from COVID-19. It's a very serious matter and it is a medical, if any, a medical crisis as such. And here in the UK, we've been given some clear directions and advice of what we need to be doing. And I guess it's the same in other countries around the world. But before I get into that and what I get into the detail is, at the very end, if you want to hop to the very end, there's a suggestion that I'm giving that might make the world a better place. So if you don't want to listen to me going through the science and the whys and wherefores of this 1 hour rule, you can skip to the end and have a nice, happy, clappy type point there. But that's at the end, yeah? And the question of the day would be I don't have a question of the day, but go to the end and see what I say there. But things are getting tighter, and whilst we're not in full lockdown here in the UK, although the media do use the word lockdown, we are allowed out once a day. Yeah. Now there are key workers here, and only this morning out on my run, and it was a 59-minute run and 33 seconds. Yes, I was out having me run at lunchtime. And it was a beautiful day. It's beautiful here in London and all over the UK. I'm guessing lots of places around the world. It's lovely weather. And so I went out on my run and it was less than the 1 hour. It just so happened to be less than 1 hour. And it's beautiful. I'm very fortunate where I'm close to a park, literally on my doorstep. I just step outside, you know, within 2 minutes I've got this lovely park and there's water and everything. And I can go running around there. So I've done a couple of laps of that. And that was my constitution for the day. So one of the guidance that we have is that we can go out once a day, and it was mentioned guidance of 1 hour. Yeah, so 1 hour it was saying. I don't know how it came up with 1 hour, and this is what the question is. Why 1 hour? How did people come up with that 1 hour? The key strategy that the UK government is saying, the three things is stay at home. Yeah, which I am here at home. Yeah, stay at home, protect the NHS, save lives. That's the three sort of rules. And also, in addition to that, is if anybody shows any of the symptoms that are on the list within the NHS, is to self-isolate for 2 weeks. Yeah, 10 days, I think, 10 days, 2 weeks. But to self-isolate. So if you have any of the symptoms, you know, like the coughing, sneezing, flu symptoms, to stay at home. So you can't go to a hospital to be tested. Have you got COVID-19? Right? You stay at home. So that's the key thing, is anyone with those symptoms is not going out, or should not be going out and doing this 1 hour exercise. Yeah. So only those who don't show any symptoms should be going out and they do their essential shopping, which is one of the other things you can do, or go to work if you're a key worker and you can't work from home. But the key thing is, if you can work from home, then you work at home. Yeah, so we cleared all that. So when we come to this 1 hour, there is a quote I've seen, and I don't know whether it's from the Second World War or times of crisis, but coughs and sneezes spread diseases. That's very true. Yeah, so if I was to cough into someone's face or sneeze in their face by accident, not deliberately, by accident, then they might get whatever germs I may have, if I have any. If I don't have any, they're not going to catch anything. It's just very unpleasant to cough and sneeze in people's faces. So we're talking about social distancing as well, which is one of the other rules, 2 meters. So if we're out exercising and we're abiding by that 2 meters, what's the issue? Whether we're out for half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, if you're keeping that distance and you're not coughing and sneezing, and remember what I said earlier, that if you've got any of those symptoms, you shouldn't be out in the first place. So the only people who are out are those who've not shown any symptoms and they feel fit and healthy to be outside. So if there's fit, healthy, happy people outside exercising, what is the issue of being out for more than 1 hour? Why is that? I appreciate the government has said that it's a guidance there, it's not the rule. And we may have some rules coming in where it will be a full lockdown and we won't be allowed out at all. But I'm prepped for that. I've got my indoor turbo trainer, which I bought weeks ago. What was interesting is when I produced that video, if you look on the link, I produced the video about that turbo trainer, and within 5 days, Halfords, where I bought it online, sold out. And they sold out all the other models. So if you haven't got one, you need to get one pretty quick, although a lot of the places are selling out of those indoor turbo trainers. But I'm ready to do my training indoors if I need to be. But whilst the sun is out and whilst I feel well, I have 0 symptoms, whilst I'm in the medium to high risk category because of my age, I don't have any of those symptoms. I don't feel stressed or anything. I don't wear a mask when I'm outside. But again, for a lot of people, if you feel the need to wear a mask when you're outside, then put one on. If you don't feel the need, don't put one on. I don't think there's any science backing that wearing a mask reduces the risk of you catching the bugs. I think it's the other way around, that if you've got it, you need to put the mask on to stop you spreading it, whereas breathing it in, I mean, the weather is fantastic. I think here in London the pollution has plummeted. The air is so fresh and clean. I can't help but want to go out on each day. I'd love to be out all day, but no, I'm keeping it within a certain limit. So what are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts about this 1 hour rule? You know, if we're keeping the social distance and those who are out don't have any symptoms, what's the issue? You know, unless you're going up to someone, and there's still no scientific evidence whereby shaking hands you pass the bug. You know, where you're close proximity, that, you know, touching your face, oh, I've done it, that's going to spread it. There's a lot of unknown things right now, so please be patient. Don't have a go and shout at people and have a go, oh, you're threatening people's lives, because the key thing that's causing the threat to people's lives, I believe, is stress and anxiety, and that alone is one of the biggest killers. And I think but I could do a whole video about that, and I won't. The key thing is to use common sense. Yeah, common sense, as was said before the weekend, last weekend that just passed was, I think, the Sunday. For those who are Christian, it was Palm Sunday. You know, it was a holy day, whatever. But in fact, it was the hottest sunny day, and the advice was to still stay at home and not to do any non-essential travelling and all that, which is fine. But when I was out on my bike, I did see a lot of cyclists out there. It's a fantastic sight to see. And everyone's on their own, cycling on their own. There was 1 or 2 pairs, you know, clearly couples, and those in the same home. And one of the benefits that I have seen is families out together, exercising together. I find that is absolutely fabulous, you know. Only today, on today's run, I saw one parent with the 2 children on bicycles, and one child was cycling freely and the other one was obviously being trained on how to use a cycle. What a great time to try that out, because the footpaths and so it was empty. There was nobody there apart from me, and there was no one else there. And I did see another parent with two sons running. They were all in their running gear and having a great time running together. So maybe that's one of the benefits from this particular lockdown, COVID-19, whatever we want to say. But I don't want to scaremonger you or whatever, or put things about the bush. But before I go on to my conclusion and question of the day, there was a movie that was out in 2011 called Contagion. And I need to stress, someone has said, if you're a nervous disposition, don't watch this movie. It's 2011, and it's a virus breaking out. I don't understand how Matt Damon, his wife dies from this virus, but he survives. So if the virus can be passed to and forth, how come he doesn't die? But anyway, I digress. In conclusion, if everybody, everywhere, after this, done 1 hour of exercise every day, wouldn't the world be a better place, a healthier place, a happier place, a stress-free place? Would it not? That's my question of the day, and maybe something we can learn. So rather than have a go at these people who are out doing their exercise for 1 hour, more than 1 hour, let's think about the benefits that it has for everybody, both in terms of physical well-being and mental and health well-being as well, reducing the stress and anxieties. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you at the next video. Oh yes, bye bye bye.